For today's story, we're going to be talking about when interesting defendants write fun and exciting letters to the judge. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Uncivil Law, where we learn through the misfortunes of others. As always, I hope you'll enjoy this legal educational content, and today may be the day I earn your subscription. For today's case, we are talking about Letitia Stotch. This is a woman who is pled not guilty in the death of her stepson, Grandin. And yeah, this is a thing. She's accused of killing her 11-year-old stepson and then transporting the body across state lines and burying him in a different part of the country and some other stuff and some things. We'll just cover the case very, very briefly here. The judge has said there's enough evidence. This includes blood-soaked furniture found in law enforcement in Stouch's home, including a trail of blood leading from Gannin's room to the garage. Well, that's a clue. You know, that's a clue. There's blood-soaked furniture, and we see a blood trail leading from the home to the garage, from his room to the garage. That's kind of a clue. GPS signals from Letitia's phone and vehicle also show that she was trying to find a place to leave the body. Details from the autopsy reports show that Gannin, the child, was shot, beaten over the head, stabbed, and slashed. That's a lot of stuff, too. So she's charged with first-degree murder, child abuse, and tampering with the deceased body, and all kinds of stuff. So this woman is not a nice person. She has apparently, and there's some pretty good physical evidence to suggest, she killed her 11-year-old grandson, but that's not really why we're here today. We're here to talk about crazy letter time. So let's talk about crazy letter time. Let's talk about some of the fun and exciting letters that our friend here has written to the judge, which I'm going to read to you live because I haven't read these before. All right. Good afternoon, sir. I thank you for taking the time to read out my letter and my concerns about unfair process that's going on in my case. I've expressed these concerns several times to my defense team, and I feel that I'm not being afforded my rights as a United States citizen. It has been 5 months, and I've met with my defense team one time in March 2020. It is the middle of August. I understand the pandemic is unforeseen, but I don't feel I should be held unconstitutionally, denied access to my attorney, have constitutional rights violated, and be abused in the process. First, as you know, there is, it looks like 130,000 and growing pages of discovery in my case. I don't know if she means 130,000. She literally seemed to write the word, she wrote over. There's over 30,000. Okay, it's over, not one. There's over 30,000 and growing pages of discovery in my case. I cannot successfully participate in my defense as a phone call 3 times a week for 1 hour at the jail. I have no way to view any videos, read any reports, review phone data, etc. I'm not an active participant in my case. I know the jail is listening to my attorney-client calls. As on several occasions, I connected about someone or something specific, and the jail immediately acted upon it. They do tell you the calls are being recorded. Officers also went outside the door, easy to hear, and sometimes a video camera is on at the TV near my phone. Sure, these are violations of my rights. In addition, I have no way to write these things down, as I'm always restrained with more times than not causing injury. I understand you can, she can write these things down because she's literally writing these things down. What do you mean you can't write these things down? You are literally at this moment writing things down. I'm reading the things you wrote down as you're saying you don't have the way to write it down. I understand you cannot tell the jail how to run their facility, but I know you cannot ignore my rights being violated. Next, sir, I understand the 8th Amendment protects cruel, unusual punishment. I know the Supreme Court says punishment can be just for crimes. However, I'm in a county jail and I'm presumed innocent, not to mention I am innocent, and we will prove it. I've been a pillar in my community in South Carolina or Southern Colorado, or whatever SC is standing for in this phrase. I have no adult record, never done any drugs, and have a doctorate degree in education. She doesn't. I've proven myself as a responsible citizen and should not be subject to cruel punishment that I receive at the jail. Over 15 plus times I've been abused in transport, ranging from injured ribs, knock at my forehead, several ankle and written bleeding, bruisings on my knee in my cell, loss of feeling in my hands several times, and I had to be on inshore 2 weeks due to the prison comments. And just recently, on 8/11/2020, I received threats in my peanut butter. Because I provided evidence of not only my innocence, but evidence that will show who it was through my PI. The messages are being written in her peanut butter. The messages about her case, they're communicating in the peanut butter, man. I knew it was only a matter of time. The peanut butter is after us all, man. As a result of this, I assume, their rumors use people in trusted positions in jail to send me threats in my something, and I'm terrified at what will happen next. Oh, in my food. I'm sorry. I should have read that. I couldn't just quite parse it out. As a result of this, I assume their runners use people in trusted positions in jail to send me threats in my food, and I'm terrified at what will happen next. I don't know how I'm supposed to properly defend myself, going through this unfair punishment, being denied my constitutional rights, being denied access to my attorneys, being under scrutiny causing daily mental disturbances, being restrained causing injuries, being denied law library access, etc., which incidentally isn't true. But, whatever. This is not okay in a county which our country itself prides itself in our democracy. A country with a flag that's got a hole in it at Flinders Field in World War I. One that turned blood red in World War II. Or the one that got cut with a sword at Chancellorsville. Throughout this flag shoot, we raise her up every morning because this country still stands for freedoms, perseverance, justice, and vigilance. And I want to know what Congress decided on June the 14th of, I'm pretty sure that says 1719. Flag Day that still rings true, that not even the evil terrorists of 9/11 can take the American spirit away. However, I'm showing the same things the flags show: valor, courage, purity, and innocence, to write you to say, I do not feel like a U.S. citizen being treated this way in my beloved country. I'm not getting a fair process. I'm not being represented properly, and I give the benefit of the doubt in a pandemic, but the other unjust treatment is not the way our founding fathers intend this process to be going. Not to mention, no pandemic, no terrorist attack, no police raids, etc. can stop our country from being the greatest on earth, upholding the law, and staying time to following our constitutional rights. This is just the surface of my concerns. As you will see, they get only worse with the illegal seizure and seizure. I was a victim of coercion and as mental and physical. Sir, you can tell I'm educated. I know Miranda versus Arizona. However, a person cannot perform under the scrutiny, abuse, cohesion, etc. And that's what's happened throughout this entire process. Besides, due to info from my private investigator, I don't feel that El Paso has jurisdiction, not to mention the wronged individuals. I reached out to you to let you know I'm very concerned with the process. No, I'll let you know to uphold the integrity of the court. Yeah, she didn't believe the people in El Paso had the ability to hold her to the extent that she tried to escape from jail. And now she's also being charged with escaping from jail on top of everything else. So that's how much she doesn't believe that El Paso has jurisdiction. She tried to escape. The judicial system that I know of does not allow a person who's presumed innocent and who is to impartially defend themselves to be subject to daily abuse and Eighth Amendment violations, does not deny Fifth and Sixth Amendment or speedy fair trials, does not interfere with attorney-client privilege. Yes, I can tell you many situations in which I know they're listening, does not physically, mentally, and emotionally abuse innocent people waiting on trial, does not allow that individual to be in danger, not just from inmates, but from employees also, and does not avoid these situations, causing individuals' mental health to decline and safety to be at risk. I live each day not knowing what will happen next, what person will put something else in my food, what rights I'll be denied tomorrow, or what injuries will occur next. I support law enforcement. I support our military, our country. I know that a few bad apples incidents can ruin it for good people. I extend my concerns to you as the first step in this because my attorneys have refused to let you know due to the public knowing. My life is on the line. I'm innocent, and I'm ready to return home and use that doctorate degree, EDD, that I had worked diligently for, and cannot do that if I'm not for the rights that I'm fighting for my life daily. I'm clearly not a threat to myself, etc. Again, this is just the surface of my concerns, and ask that something be done so I can get this behind me, move past this trial, forgive those who prosecuted me and afflicted me, continue to be a soldier for Christ, and repair my mental state, and most importantly, grieve. I need these constitutional rights in order to successfully participate in this process. I'm prisoner bound in chains, like Paul said, but I know my Bible is not bound. I also know he appointed people in authority and respect them because they are chosen to uphold the law. Please accept this letter of my letting you know, first, not going over the court's head and following the appropriate chain of command. Something that has to be done, sir. Thank you. God bless. P.S. If there's any possible way to receive acknowledgement of your receipt and this letter, so you know I'm aware. Well, that's a lot, my friends. That is a lot. The peanut butter is speaking to her. The peanut butter is speaking to her, and her food is food is speaking to her, and it's sending her messages in the food and the peanut butter. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of things. So this woman may not necessarily be necessarily all the way there, and yeah, tried to escape from jail and stuff. So. Interesting character, but fret not, myself, friends. We will have more on this soon. But for the moment, at least, that brings us to the end of the discussion of this story. Thank you so much for being part of the Uncivil Law family. If you enjoyed this legal education content, please hit the subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow. We appreciate your continuing support. And until later, my friends, cheers and goodbye.